Welcome to My Forever Home, the podcast. I'm Frances Cosway and I've helped hundreds of people create forever homes. I can't wait to share the journey with you. So let's start. Hello everyone and welcome to the brand new podcast season for 2021. It's been a long time in the making because I've had lots of feedback around what people would like me to chat about as a follow-up season to Kitchen Design Essentials that went for over 20 episodes last year. So if you haven't tapped into all the things you need to know about kitchens, tap into that season available on the podcast's previous episodes. Now, what we've got in store for you this year are some fantastic seasons, and the first one to kick off is this one. Bathroom Design Essentials. Obviously, a kitchen is such a important component to our home, but I suppose the next most important in some people's minds, and I suppose real estate agents will say kitchens and bathrooms sell homes. And bathrooms is also an area that can become quite overwhelming. It can become an area where people get confused and are not sure on the best layouts. What some of the regulations may be in terms of what they can and can't do, and how can they create bathrooms that are going to serve them now, but also when they may not be as able-bodied and it may not be as easy to get around and there's steps and trip hazards and so forth. So I'm going to be covering lots and lots of different things to consider in this season of bathroom design. So what's in store? So over the next 12 to 15 episodes of this season, I'm going to be looking at lots of different things to ponder, to research, to just investigate. And I know some of the feedback that I've had about the Kitchen Design Essentials season is that there are lots of things that people hadn't thought about. And that's the sort of stuff that I really want to be able to share with you about bathrooms. So who is this season designed for? Obviously, it will be designed for those of you who are thinking about renovating or creating a brand new bathroom from scratch as part of a new build, a new home. It may be that you want to do a makeover. I will certainly be sharing information on what are some of the more cost-effective ways to invigorate new life and some cosmetic changes to an already existing bathroom that has got really good bones, but it's a little bit tired. And I do this very frequently with clients where it's just, it's, a little bit tired, but it's still in good nick. And we don't necessarily need to rip the whole thing out, which if it's not needed, I certainly don't think it's necessary to have to do that. It may be that you're really interested in bathroom design. I've had quite a few designers been listening to the podcast as I share information, and they found it really beneficial, which is lovely. Sharing is caring. And it may be that you're one day thinking about doing your bathroom and you just like to get some knowledge now. And so you're capturing and absorbing as much information as you can so that you are prepared for when you go down this journey. So it could be now or a long time into the future. So I'm sure that if you're listening to this already, being the Your Forever Home podcast series, that you're probably in one of those camps, one of those buckets. So as with the Kitchen Design Essentials, there were lots of guests that we had that I managed to have on the podcast, and that will happen again. So we will have Fabi Fontana come back to talk about floor plan design and some of the key things to think about when you are looking at the floor plan of your bathroom. I'll also have a representative from Reese back again to talk about all the different things relating to taps, and basins and baths and choosing a loo. And on that point, I'm going to have a special buyer's guide on choosing a loo and a special buyer's guide on choosing a bath. They're probably the areas that people ask a lot of questions about. And of course, I'll be covering topics such as vanities, materials, the size of your vanity. Do you have above basin, above counter basins? Do you have them undermounted? What are all the advantages and disadvantages of going down a particular path? That's something that I like arming my clients with, that they're making informed decisions based on understanding the advantages and disadvantage of going down one route or another. Tiles is such an important component, and sometimes people start with tiles and the colours of their bathroom. It's not necessarily the first part to consider with your bathroom, but it's certainly a really important part. So I'm going to be going through the different types of tiles, the difference between porcelain tiles, ceramic tiles, but also the difference between a well-made porcelain tile and a porcelain tile that is actually not that great, and why it's worth investing. Particularly when we're talking about a forever home, you want to make sure that you're going to get a tile where the print on the top is not going to wear off. So I'll definitely be covering that off. The all famous, well, not all famous, but the all encompassing topic around storage. The amount of times that I see the most amazing looking bathrooms in magazines, or even in homes that I may be going to, either an open house or someone else's home, and it is breathtakingly beautiful, but it's also breathtakingly not practical. And for those of you who know me, you'll know me well enough to understand that I am very much about function before form. Functionality is so critical. There is absolutely no reason why your bathroom, your powder room, your ensuite cannot be gobsmackingly gorgeous and beautiful and exactly as you want it to be, and also be functional. But what I find so often, and also when I'm looking at floor plans that people want me to review, is that there is something amazingly beautiful about it, but it is not practical. There is nowhere to store the hairdryer, your makeup, your cleansers, the shavers, your additional toilet rolls if it's an ensuite, your toothbrushes. None of that has been considered. The only thing that's been considered is the aesthetic. And I just feel it's such a disservice to a room that has to work so hard for you. Now, obviously, in certain bathrooms, your ensuite may need to have more storage than your family bathroom, or it may be the other way around. But I'll have an entire episode on just on storage and how you create it and what you need to think about. So, so important. I am such a functional girl. I think it's the Dutch blood in me, where everything in the Netherlands is about functionality, and functionality always comes first. But hey, if you've seen any of the design in the Netherlands, it is absolutely slap bang amazing as well. Also, we'll be talking about showers. What are some of the regulations you need to consider? The difference between having a step-in shower, wet rooms, and then also having a shower base. So all the different things that you may need to consider to make sure that you've got functionality as well as cost as a consideration. I will be talking about budgets, as I did with the kitchen season. And also I want to have a very special episode just on powder rooms. I find that powder rooms is such a they are a room that can be dealt with in a completely different way. And we've had so many clients that, quite pleasingly to me, have wanted to really put out the rule book for their powder room and say, hey, we want to create something that is really a wow factor. It's a little bit removed from the rest of the house in terms of it being such a talking point. And I love that when people want to inject something really adventurous into a space. Doesn't necessarily need to be the powder room, but I'm finding more and more with clients that they are really happy for the powder room, the place where their visitors go to be this room of, wow, look what you did in there. And so I'm going to dedicate an entire episode just on powder rooms and some of the things you can think about and really go left of center and just make it something extraordinary. How much fun. And it's so much fun. People get so excited about having a powder room that is just really reflective of them, but they're perhaps not brave enough to implement that into the rest of their house. And that's fine too. As with all my the advice that I provide, I'm definitely going to be talking about lighting. I do not want to see downlights be the only light source in a bathroom, as I don't want to see downlights in any room as the only light source in that space. So I'm going to talk about the different lighting fittings that you can use and how you can use lighting to really make your bathroom, powder room, ensuite really something special from a design perspective as well. We also need to talk about the different ratings for lighting that's being used in wet areas and what can and can't be done. I'll also have an episode just on decorating. So what are some of the ways that you may have all the bones of your bathroom, ensuite or powder room there, but how do you actually make it look a little bit more beautiful? And that can be some of the decorating and the tricks that we use as interior designers and decorators on making that a little bit special. I'll also be talking about the differences between custom-made joinery and off-the-shelf and some of the advantages and disadvantages with having, vanities that you can just purchase at a showroom versus having a vanity that is custom-made. Sometimes you won't have a choice, but I will go through those in an episode as well. So, lots of things in store. This is quite fluid as well. I've already got the season planned out, but if there's a particular topic that you'd like me to cover, by all means, send me a note, ping me a message, and let me know. Can you please make sure that you're going to cover off X, X, and X, because I will extend the series if I need to. This season is going to go well into April, and I have no problems at all adding a couple of extra episodes if I need to, if there's a very specific question that you'd like me to answer. Now, don't forget that throughout this entire season, you can get in contact with me at any time by booking a chat via the website. I've got a dedicated area that you can book an opportunity to speak to me with a slot of about 15 minutes. We can run through how we may be able to assist you, any questions that you've got, and that's completely complimentary. And you'll get access to my diary and book a time in that suits you. The other exciting thing that you may like to tap into is at the end of last year, just before Christmas, actually, I created a new Facebook group called Renovating and Building Your Forever Home. As you may guess, it's all about creating a forever home. And so that's a closed Facebook group. It's open to the public, but it's where you can actually join. But that is where I will go in there. I will answer questions. It's a lot more interactive than just the public Facebook page. And the interaction that's been there with members, other members answering each other's questions, me going in there and providing advice or whatever it is, it's been absolutely glorious to see. And it's just warmed my heart to see the community that has already developed in such a short time. So by all means, head over. The link will be in the show notes. Head over and join the group because that's going to be a fantastic opportunity for you to ask very specific questions. But there's lots of very specialised pieces of information there that are shared there that are not necessarily anywhere else. So that's another resource that you're able to utilise. So I'm really happy to launch this season with you. It's a great way to start 2021. And so I really look forward to having you join me for the season all around bathrooms. One other special announcement is the first webinar is going to be live webinar with me on the 17th of February. I'm actually going to be running through kitchens. It's the Kitchen Masterclass. Lots and lots of information that I share around your kitchen. So if you missed it last year, make sure that you register on the White Pebble Interiors events page. You're able to register there for free. So don't miss that on the 17th of February. So with that, I bid you farewell. I look forward to having you here next week. Every episode of this season will drop on a Thursday, just in time for the weekend, just in time for if you're fleeting off for the weekend to somewhere nice and you're in the car, you can have a listen. So until next week, have a fantastic week, and I'll be here next week. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of My Forever Home. If you're ready to renovate or build a new home and you need help to create a beautiful and functional forever home, you can book a chat with me directly at whitepebbleinteriors.com.au/chat. Have a great day.